one thing that was like in the back of my mind. I'm like, bro, like that would be horrible. Yeah, so I was thinking like, hey, dude, taking that adversity and looking and spinning it, right? You are what you think. Right. Your body does what you think. You are like you got a central nervous system. You got to think about it first before you move your arm. So you're thinking bad shit's gonna happen to you. You're thinking good shit's gonna happen to you. Right. That's how I've really kind of like, bro, I didn't have a fucking pot to piss in, but I did have my word, and that was to me was like, hey, dude, this means a lot. And that if you have a pot to piss in, and if you've never like dug through a trash can to fucking eat dinner, then you're like, yeah, my word, yeah, totally. And then people use it, whatever. When you're like, hey, dude, I said I'm gonna fight in your show, I'll fight in your show. Dude, there's so many times I was telling this story. I told a guy, I said, hey, bro. He goes, hey, I'm putting together a show, and when I do, will you fight in it? And I said, yeah. Well, I got a bunch of fights and I had a bunch of wins. And then he's like, hey, I want you to fight at my show. And they're like, hey, dude, this next fight you're going to have, it's going to be in the WFA, and whoever wins going to UFC. And I was like, well, he wanted me to fight before that fight. And I'm like, bro, this is kind of like my career. And I was like, fuck. He goes, hey, bro, you told me you would. And I was like, yeah, fuck, you're right, I did. I'm like, all right, dude. And I fucking fought in the show, and I'm like, and I ended up losing a stupid split decision, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, and they kept going, one more round. And I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, I literally had the guy like this, and against the fence, he was a wrestler, and they told me he was a karate guy, number one. So he has his head on the outside.
Works every time.
And he was huge. I never saw him at the weigh-in, so I'm like, this fucking dude. And he had knee pads on, he's going like this. I'm like, okay, this dude's definitely not a karate guy. And he kept shooting on me. Well, like an idiot and cocky enough, someone had showed me a Peruvian necktie. I still can't even do a Peruvian necktie. I was trying to hit this dude with a Peruvian necktie, and he kept hitting me and kept tilting me, so he'd side mount me. So and after I scrambled and wasted a bunch of energy to get up, and we get back to our feet. So he shot on me, head on the outside. The box cover of the DVD of me is my face looks like a tomato because I'm not breathing. He's limp, and I let go. Herb Dean's the ref. Let go, he goes like this on the ground, bell rings, and I'm like, yeah! We're sitting in the corner, and they go, one more round. He was a Marine, and this was out on Indian Reservation near Pendleton. So they're like, dude, so here's what I'm assuming. They're like, we're going to have a riot if we don't have one more round. So they go, one more round. And I'm like, one more round, dude, one round. I'm like, what?
I just won.
Fucking dude, woke the dude up. All right, fucking one more round. One more round. Takes me down, sits on me. Scrambling. One more round. Give me another fucking round, dude. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Yeah. So I lose the decision, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So Dana White's in the audience. So I get in a limo on the way home with a bag of ice in my face, and Dana's sitting next to me, and he goes, that fight should have been in the UFC. I was like, yes, I agree. I agree with you, actually. And he goes, Tito said that you weren't ready for UFC, you need to wrestle more. And I was like, fuck, the guy was a wrestler, the guy got me. It was true. I had smoked a bunch of dudes, kicking them in the face and standing up. And I was like, all right. So the reality of like, hey, bro, you're not the fucking best MMA guy. You're a good kickboxer. You hit hard with every limb, but you got to fucking learn how to wrestle because otherwise the motherfucker's just going to lay on you and toy with you. So I took a year off and just didn't compete. And my coach was super pissed. He's like, hey, bro, I got fights for you lined up and like stand up. I'm like, I want to fully evolve myself and immerse myself in grappling. And he was like, what? You're getting paid for these are good fights. And I'm like, I'm not going to get any better, dude. And Tito's like, it's the sport of the future. And I'm like, it's the sport, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a sport of the future, but I should probably get better at this grappling thing.
I don't like the fact that someone's holding me down. This sucks. And one random obscure night after that fight, I'm teaching a bag class at our gym. It's a HP Ultimate. It's like a 6 p.m. A bunch of people in the class. We get done. I think I was doing a private, and this guy who watched the fight, who was a wrestler, Pete, he goes, hey, Mexican kid. He goes, hey, dude, come here. When you're on bottom and the guy like has you in side mount, like frame on him, and like as you wiggle, you can get an underhook and come out. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, watch. And he goes, hold me. And he's like, squeeze really tight. And I'm like, and he's like, watch. And then he goes, let me do it to you. And I started doing it. I'm like,
this whole time.
Hold on, bro. Wait. So I could get it up with like an underhook? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I kept drilling it. And then I was like, hold on, dude. Okay. So now I'm like, all right, I got a couple moves now. Yeah, go ahead, try to take me down, dude. I'll get up. And then they take out the 55 division in UFC. Do you remember that? They took out 55.
Yeah.
So now, and I wasn't even a 55